Everyone, you do not need one of these little Bitcoin nodes, but they are super cool. And I wanted to talk about what they do and how mine works and how this little map works down here. So what is a Bitcoin node? A Bitcoin node are the little computers that keep track of everything that happens on the Bitcoin network. The one I run, again, it looks like this. It's tiny. You can see how big it is compared to the size of my hands, and it's super simple. It's got where can you see it there? It's got a power button, and then it's got a cable to plug into your computer internet router thing for the internet. That's all it's got. So if you plug that in and then you go to umbrel.local, I am connected to one of these remotely, but if you go to umbrel.local, you can connect to your Bitcoin node. Now, again, the average person does not need this. I'm just showing it to you because it's cool. If you're a Bitcoin enthusiast, it's cool. But the average person does not need this. You do need a way to buy Bitcoin like River. You do need a way to safely and securely store your Bitcoin like a Bitkey. You do need that stuff. You do not need one of these. This is for basically Bitcoin techie enthusiasts for just the fun of it. It's more complicated than that. But anyway, you don't have to worry about ever buying one of these. But I wanted to show you what a Bitcoin node looks like. Okay, so this is the interface of my Bitcoin node, which shows me all of the computers that my Bitcoin node is connected to. So when you plug it in, I'll do a refresh here. So this is me. This Bitcoin node is in Mississippi. Again, I'm connected remotely, but this is a Bitcoin node in Mississippi. You'll see it is connected to 44 other, 44 other Bitcoin nodes. So we have 44 connections around the world. If you look at this, we've got a variety of them all through the United States. And with the big dot, meaning there's multiple nodes there, and I can't tell, doesn't look like it's on the coast. I'm assuming that's like New York City, even though that would be on the coast, but it could be, I don't know, could be somewhere in New York, could be Toronto, could be something. Anyway, it's probably New York though. If you flip over here to Europe, you can see I'm connected to a bunch of Bitcoin nodes around Europe. Flip over here, I'm connected to a Bitcoin node over here in India. And I'm also connected to a Bitcoin node in South Korea. Now, just like me, each of those nodes has more connections the closer it is geographically. So this node in India has connections to a ton of local nodes in addition to a few that are remote. And this one in South Korea, same, probably has more connections all over all over Asia than mine does. My connections are pretty heavily US and Europe, and then I've just got some connections. Interestingly enough, I don't have any connections in South America or Africa, although sometimes I do. It just depends on when my node boots up. It connects to as many different Bitcoin nodes as it can find. Right now, that's between 45 and 46. And anytime, if I use my Bitkey device to broadcast a Bitcoin transaction, or I move Bitcoin around on River or Coinbase, then that transaction will be broadcast to the network, which means these little dots that are bouncing around going down these things represent Bitcoin transactions. It does not show my Bitcoin node pushing transactions to other nodes. That's just not visualized on this map. It only shows every time it gets a Bitcoin packet of information from another Bitcoin node, it shows it moving. Now, it's actually quite fast. These are, all connections around the world are typically with undersea fiber optic cables. So this animation is probably slower than the time it actually takes. You can actually get around the world really, really, really super fast in a fraction of a second, even though they slowed down this animation just so you can see it go, because otherwise it would look like it just flashed for a second. But anyway, I'm connected to 44 peers. So the question is, how fast, how many hops does it take to get all of the Bitcoin nodes? Well, I've got a little spreadsheet here, and on this spreadsheet, you will see, hopefully if the screen share updates, let me see if it does here. 1 second. I do not know why it's not screen sharing properly. But anyway, I'll just verbally walk you through it. My node is connected to 45 peers in one hop, meaning my 45, if every one of them is connected to 45 peers, it can hop to 2,000 peers with one hop and 91,000 peers in 2 hops. If the number of nodes it is connected to is less than that, such as 14, it would take me 3 hops to reach every single Bitcoin node in the entire Bitcoin network. But again, It's if it only takes, if all of those are as well connected as my node with 44 connections, I can reach the entire Bitcoin network in one hop and then another hop, which is really pretty amazing. From the people I'm connected to, I can get one more hop and then a second hop to basically every Bitcoin node that is anywhere. Also, how long does it take for a Bitcoin transaction to reach every node? According to a little search on ChatGPT, you'll see the prompt up there. It says it can reach 50% of all the Bitcoin nodes, more than 100,000 of them in 1 to 2 seconds. And it can reach between 80 and 90% of all the nodes in 5 to 10 seconds, and virtually all of them, including the ones running on satellites and, I don't know, submarines under the ocean in less than a minute. The quick summary here is this, which is it can get to virtually all the nodes in 1 to 2 seconds or 5 to 10 seconds for 80 to 90%. So anyway, it is super cool how Bitcoin works. Every time you install the Bitcoin software on any computer, including on one of these little Bitcoin, Umbrel Bitcoin nodes here, which are for sale for $400. Let me see if I can get it in the screen here. For $400, it will boot up and it will immediately start searching for Bitcoin peers. And if you're like mine, after a little while, it's up to 47 peers. And then it connects all over the world. And all of those nodes are connected to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 peers themselves. And, with a handful of hops, you can connect to all 100,000 Bitcoin nodes. Now, the cool thing, and I don't know if you can show it. Let me see if it shows it on map of all Bitcoin. I should have looked this up in advance. I did not. Let me see if you can find a map of all the nodes. Nah, there's not a good one. Anyway, I'd have to go look at it. But there are maps I've seen before. Yeah, see, these are what I want is one that just shows like tiny little pinpricks on every node. But I don't know that I'm going to get that. Anyway, there are some cool maps that I've seen before that I'm not immediately finding that show basically a little dot for every Bitcoin node. And it's just super cool when you see that. But anyway, but I'm not immediately finding it. I should have pulled it up in advance. But anyway, just wanted to share what my Bitcoin node looks like. And there it is, in case you want to know what a Bitcoin node looks like and, how it's transacting with its peers and all that sort of stuff. So just a quick video for fun. And again, you do not need a Bitcoin node, but in case you wanted to know kind of how it connects and what it looks like, there you go. Have a great day, everyone.